and a lot of my work is online on like a release or a day launch, and then it very quickly gets eradicated as well. So I try not to spend too long post-processing. I try and just keep them like cropping in and basic things that I know that I can get as much of it in camera, and then just have a little cropping or a little bit of like spot moving in the background. So that's one setup we can try. I wonder if we can do a flat lay as well. Have we got time? You guys all right to try another one?
Yep.
Just so I can show a bit more. So Mark, could I have a 2470 coming up? Lob it. You got it. Oh, you got. That's right. Bring one from the back.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, it is yours. You only got the one. Yeah. We should now have a cleaner background, less distractions, and a somewhat nicely lit product. So we're getting there. A thing that I can see, which is quite annoying, the line on the table, the bottom left corner, where the actual centre of the table is. So I prefer to go for like a cleaner, pure white table or pure coloured table. Any questions so far? What have we got? Top right corner. Yeah. See, that is the circle on the background, on outside. Which let's see what Tom's doing here. Let's see if this works. So we're trying to ignore that. I mean, that in Photoshop is a real quick fix as well. You could also crop in a little bit, try and sort of reduce that edging. One of my biggest things is when you look back through my portfolio, there's like the outer edges of pictures, there's always someone just poking their head in, or there's some bit of like a light stand popping in, but they're usually quick fixes we can get away with. So let's just see if that works, what's going on there. There's another trick we can use. So that's just a white, what have you got, Tom? That's just a bit of a white reflector. No, it's even worse. So what? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's try if we open our shutter speed up now. Just so in theory we're letting a lot more of that natural light flooding in. I want to see, I'm going to put this on a timer because it's going to be quite shaky. 1 second.
So there's more light travel through it.
Yeah, so there's basically more light coming in and hitting the sensor, but we've still got the same amount of flash coming out onto the product. It's saying it's naturally 2 stops overexposed at the bottom where it says +2. So we'll see that has helped or hindered. Okay, so a bit too much, but you can, just by a couple of like settings on the exposure, see how we've washed out the background and almost created a clean white background. But yeah, that black thing is annoying now. What, the camera?
Yeah.
Fills the frame a bit. Or we could try just walking the camera a bit closer. Light is coming in. Natalie, what's the number on the top of the 2? So they're both on 2, so they're the same power, but because of the distance, the power will be slightly reduced. So we'll just have another shot in the dark and we'll see. Just make sure, did that one fire, the big one?
Yeah, that's
that's good. So I think we've slightly gone too flat with it. So I like to sort of still see a little bit of shadow. I was talking to someone earlier about how bringing in fill light can kill it and it makes it look 2D. So the ways we can do that is by walking the light further away, so it's not having as much of an impact. So to bring it coming quite far, that's it, and you've just gone off target, so just spin it around that way. And we can just have a little look at that now again. That's probably what? Half difference, distance. That's getting there. So you're still seeing the underside of the bread is still having detail in it, but it's not as exposed as the previous one, the shade before one of that. That's the overexposed one at the front, I would say. So I just quite like the slight bit of separation. That just gives that 3D element, and you can then see just how beautiful the sort of out of focus background is. And for me, that is like a real sweet shot that I go for, and I like to be able to come down as low as I can. If I can lay on the camera on the table so it's on the same like line of plane, that's really nice. What I would then start to do now is see, with Natalie's help, is to see if we can start adding in just some maybe of the cherry tomatoes or a few more props just to bring out the colour a little bit. So you've got slight delay, but it should work. That's before, and then that's the after. And if we come back a couple more, you just see like the avocado and the cherry tomatoes on the side, they're slowly becoming darker, and it's purely the sort of light is not being able to sort of jump up and fall back round, and that's purely by moving it closer and a little bit lower. Now if we go as low as we can go on that, you'll have more light being able to drop around from the top. That's it. Go a little bit lower with it. There you go. Excellent. Let's see how this looking. So you can see now that's almost covered the whole of it. There's an edge of the bread on the far side which is just not quite getting it. So what we want to do now is to bring in the second light